I'm Dr. Revels, and you're listening to the Revelations Podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts, and let me know that you're listening. We're all family and friends here, so please call me Rev. And of course, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an enemy that you are listening to the Revelations Podcast. The topic of today's verse is the butter knife screwdriver. Wait, what? Yes, I said it. The butter knife screwdriver. Let's get into one dictionary definition, as we like to do here on the Revelations Podcast. So we're all on the same page. Design. It's the only definition we have today. Design is a multifaceted concept, but it encompasses the intentional creation of something, an object, system, or a process. What is this thing designed to do? What was the intention of this thing that was created? And I said the butter knife screwdriver, so let's get to it. So when I was a kid, I loved to like fix things. Because my dad was really super handy and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. So I wanted to fix things. I wanted to fix things around the house. And sometimes, well, all the time I had to go ask him, can I use his tools? I couldn't just go in the toolbox because, I was a kid and I might lose them. And sometimes he would let me use his tool and I would go and fix the thing. And sometimes he wasn't home or I didn't feel like asking him and something would need to be screwed in like a toy or something or a leg on a chair or a desk would be wobbly and I saw a screw and I say, oh, I can fix this. And I would run downstairs and get a screwdriver and I would come back upstairs and I would screw it in. And I noticed a difference between something. Whenever I actually used the screwdriver, either a Phillips or a flathead, and I screwed the screw in, that screw never really fell out of place. That screw was where it was supposed to be, doing what it was supposed to do because the screwdriver was living in its design and the screw was living in its design and they were working in harmony together. But oh, when I used that butter knife, the butter knife worked. It functioned. I was able to screw the screw in, but the screw never got as tight, even though I thought I was doing a good job. Okay, I see it's turning, it's going, it's going, it's going, and it looks stable for now. But every time I screwed that thing in with the screwdriver, every 7 to 10 days, I would go and have to screw it in some more, screw it in some more. And why am I saying this? I say this because I truly believe that we are all designed, created for a purpose. And when we live outside of that design, we can, much like the butter knife, can act as a screwdriver. But when we do, we're never as functional and we're never as good as if we're living in our design. And there was another thing that happened to the butter knife. The butter knife, while it was working, I began to see the butter knife would be damaged. The tip of it would be damaged because even though it was working in a different way, it was ending up being damaged because it too wasn't living in its design. So the screw wasn't being as strong as it could be because the butter knife wasn't screwing it in as much as it could. And not only that, the butter knife was also being damaged. So I said we're all built with a purpose and we're all created for a purpose. I truly believe that. I think everybody is here for a reason. Whatever your religious affiliation is, that doesn't matter. I believe that we have certain designs for us, and we're put on this earth to execute those plans and execute those designs. You may think it's a God or you may think it's the universe, but the thing is, we have choice. And choice is a beautiful thing. I love choice. I like to be able to choose and pick and select what I would like to do. And I did it for a while. I was working and trying to climb the corporate ladder, and I was much like the screwdriver screwing in a screw. It was working, but not nearly as well because I knew I was not necessarily living in my design. My design was to be a person who impacted the lives of young people through education. And I found that when I began to go into that way and doing what I was designed to do, that I was more effective and the screw stayed in more. And not only that, I was not as damaged. The problem is, a lot of us, and I say us, we have a hard time learning our design. What were we created to do? Because we have so many interests, we have so many gifts, we have so many talents, and it's super hard to find exactly what we were created to do. But I think the way we know what we're created to do is when we come across that thing that we love to do. And even if it's hard, we still get enjoyment out of it. And not only enjoyment out of it, but also we're naturally good at it. So we're naturally good and we get enjoyment and fulfillment even when it's rough. And we have an ambition and a passion and a burn to continue to do it. And oftentimes, when we do find that, like I did when I was much younger, I knew what I was supposed to do. I decided I wanted to live outside of my design because I had options and I had choice. And I wanted a different life. I want to make a lot of money and I want to have more freedom and movement and things. And I want to be important and a mover and a shaker. And I said, you know what? I want this. And I can do that. I can. I'm able to, can, being literally able to do it. Are you able to get the job done just like the butter knife is able to screw in the screw? Yes. But is that the design? No. And if I'm not living in my design, am I actually doing the best job I could be doing? And am I doing it to where I'm not hurting myself? When I would use the screw to screw in the screwdriver to screw in the screw, neither of those things would get damaged. But when I was using the butter knife, it would be damaged. And much like our lives, I believe that when we're not living in our design, we are not being as effective and we're damaging ourselves. So we don't necessarily always like our design. Maybe we're a butter knife and it's our job to spread butter. It's our job to be in the kitchen, but we want to be a screwdriver. We want to be the things that are holding the house together, that are holding the furniture together. But how can the eye say to the hand, I want to be able to grab things? When the hand can say to the eye, I want to be able to see things. Both are equally important. I don't want to live my life without my eyes, and I don't want to live my life without my hands. Can we function without our eyes or out our hands? Sure. But isn't life better when we have our eyes and our hands and they're both functioning within their design? What if I decided to use my hand to see things? And some people have lost their sight and they have to use their hand to see things. And I feel sorry for those people. And because I love my sight and they can function that way, but they probably would function better in vision if they could actually see. If they could actually see. So it's not about only living in our design. It's about accepting our design and liking our design for what it is. But we're humans and we have our own ambitions and our goals, and they don't always align with what we were created to do and what we were created in our design. But I will say this, I truly believe that if we are living in our design and we find some purpose and some passion and some love within that design, that we will be satisfied. We may still have these desires in our peripheral. I still want to be a mover and shaker and be a person that can change the world, but I have to do it in a little different way because it's not my design. It's not my design to be the president of the United States. It's not my design to be the president of a Fortune 500 company or the CEO of Fortune 500 company or own my own basketball or football team. And that is okay. It doesn't mean that I cannot be ambitious. It doesn't mean that I cannot go out and go for what I know. But I know that my design is what it is. And now that I'm living in that design, I am much happier. I am much more at peace. And guess what? There's so many people that are not living in their design and they can be super successful, much like that screwdriver could have been super successful and screwing in all the screws of every piece of furniture in the house. They could have done it, but I challenge and I wonder, are they happy? Can one really be happy living outside of their design, living outside of what they are designed to do? We have so many different skills. We can do so many different things. I could do more than just be a teacher, and I could do more than just being an academic leader, which I am. I could do way more than that. But I've learned that when I'm living in my design, I'm much better. So, what is your design? Have you found your design? Again, have you found something that you're extremely like you're super skilled at, that you have a love and passion for, and even when it's going bad, you still have a love and passion for it, and your flame for that thing doesn't go out? Have you found that? If you have, then you have found your design. If you haven't, look for it, search for it, and your design, the answer is going to be within yourself. You know the things you like to do. You know the things that you're talented at. You know the things that you have the skill and the desire to get better at. And you know the things that when they happen to go bad, you still love it and you want to still keep pushing through. And you're not doing it for any ancillary gains. Of course, you want to make money. Of course, you want these other things, but your main purpose and your goal and your true fulfillment comes from doing the thing, except what the thing brings to you. That is your design. So, how many of us are actually living in our design? How many of us are actually doing what we're supposed to do? How many of us are living the purpose that we were created to live? I don't know. I know that I am, and I hope that you are. That's all I got for today. Thank you again for listening to the Revelations Podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcast. Contact me directly at the Revelations Podcast. That's at Gmail. That's also on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I am because we are. Hallelujah, holla back. Peace.
Yeah, the revelations now televised. A platform for you and I. And now look with full heart and clear eyes. Now, these are just my thoughts. Truth on how I feel on these topics I reveal. Please know my toll, I always keep it real. Can't face the word if you can't face facts. For your time, just open up your mind. That's it, just live, think big, now take that. With God in me, this here was made by design. Yeah, the revelation will be televised. Revelations.